there comes a moment in life that most people try to avoid, not because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. It's the moment when you realize that no one is coming to fix your life. Not your family, not your friends, not the system, not luck, and definitely not the right time. At first, this realization feels heavy, almost unfair, because deep down, most of us grow up believing that things will somehow work out on their own, that if we just wait long enough, something will change, that eventually an opportunity will appear or someone will guide us in the right direction. But life doesn't really work like that. It moves forward, whether you're ready or not. And if you're not actively shaping your direction, you slowly start drifting without even realizing it. That's the part most people miss. They don't fail because they lack intelligence or potential. They fail because they never fully take ownership of their life. Responsibility is often misunderstood. People think it's pressure, a burden, something to avoid. But in reality, responsibility is control. The moment you accept that your life is your responsibility, something changes. You stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop looking around for someone else to fix things. And instead, you start asking a different question. What can I do right now to move forward? That shift sounds simple, but it changes everything. Because when you stop waiting, you start acting. And when you start acting, even in small ways, progress begins. Most people don't have a motivation problem. They have a decision problem. They're always preparing, always thinking, always planning, but rarely committing. They want clarity before they take action. But clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from it. You figure things out by doing, not by waiting. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They consume information every day. They watch videos, read advice, listen to podcasts. It feels productive. It feels like progress. But their life doesn't actually change, because information without execution is just distraction. At some point, you have to stop consuming and start building, even if it's imperfect, even if you don't feel ready, because the truth is, you will never feel fully ready. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be risk. There will always be a reason to wait. But there's also something else quietly happening in the background. Time is passing, and it doesn't pause while you're figuring things out. Every day you delay action, someone else is learning, improving, and moving forward, not because they are more talented, but because they decided to move. That's the real difference. Over time, those small decisions create a gap. At first, it's barely noticeable, but after a few years, it becomes impossible to ignore. One person builds skills, confidence, and momentum. The other stays in the same place, wondering why nothing changed. And that realization can be painful, but it can also be powerful, because if your current situation is the result of your past actions, then your future can be shaped by what you choose to do next. That means you're not stuck. You're just responsible. And that's a completely different mindset. You don't need a perfect plan to move forward. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to start. Start learning something useful. Start building something small. Start improving your habits. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to change. But once you take control, even in small ways, something begins to shift. You gain clarity. You build confidence. You start seeing opportunities you never noticed before. And slowly, your life begins to move in a different direction. Not because someone helped you, but because you stopped waiting and started taking ownership. At the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. But that's not a limitation. It's an opportunity, because it means your life is in your hands. And once you fully accept that, you stop hoping for change, and you start creating it. In the next video, we're going to talk about something that quietly holds a lot of people back without them even realizing it: self-pity. It's one of the most dangerous habits you can develop because it feels justified, but it keeps you stuck. If you want to understand why successful people think differently, click on the video on your screen. Self-pity is the most expensive luxury, the secret of every successful person. I'll see you there.